Sweet. So welcome to the podcast, Karissa. Is this everything you hoped and dreamed for?
It is surpassing my expectations already.
It's been amazing.
We figured since Tri was in Hawaii and we couldn't go in person anyway, we'd try to get someone who had to call in too. So you're still in Palo Alto, right?
I'm not. I'm actually officially in Manhattan Beach. So
you made the move?
I should be in person sometime. But yeah.
Well, congrats.
Oh yeah.
Are you stoked on that?
Yeah, I'm torn. Being at Stanford is kind of my dream, and I love it there. But being in Manhattan Beach is awesome too. So good change of pace. Katie's made me play volleyball every day since getting here, so that's amazing.
Sounds like
yeah, it's been great.
And so, are you still coaching at Stanford?
I'm not. I got to go up there this past weekend to coach some camps, so I'll still be kind of involved that way. But I am officially no longer coaching there until I realized my great mistake in about a year, and then try to blackmail my way back in. But yeah, for now I'm no longer there.
So what's the next step for you? What's going to be keeping you busy this fall?
So this fall, we have more volleyball than I realized we would. So that is for sure going to keep me busy. We're going to be out in Hawaii with you, Tri, in about 3 days.
All right.
Hurricane willing. And then Kenny's qualified for 3 more tournaments for the NORCECA guys. So Punta Cana, Dominican Republic first. Then we're going back to Ochos Rios, Jamaica. And then there's a Martinique tournament that is TBD on the NORCECA.net website. So that is a true TBD, but hopefully that pulls through. And then in addition to that, I'm working this little startup with my brother, Brian, who you guys had on, and a couple other college buddies. So definitely still busy, but...
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on. Congrats on the NORCECA, by the way. That's awesome.
Thanks. We're so fired up. I was like an angry cat and didn't want to play the qualifiers because we had just played so many tournaments and talked me into it per usual, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm pumped.
Yeah, NORCECAs are pretty fun. They're like little vacations.
Yeah, definitely the places I don't think I'd go were it not for volleyball, so it's kind of like a sweet treat there. Yeah,
I want to go to Jamaica. That's one that I need to check off the list.
Yeah, it was rad last year. It was funny though, it was a trip. The courts we played on, heavy quotation marks around the courts part. The first match, they're hammering these metal pipes into just solid earth, basically, as rain is dumping down. And we're sitting there, and our jerseys just wait, are we supposed to play now or tomorrow? You're eating goat curry between matches, but it's pretty rad.
Oof.
Yeah, reggaeton is laughing.
Dang. Not what I was picturing.
The people are so cool though. Hands down the coolest people we met traveling for volleyball yet. And you see playing in front of water and amazing fans, and it was so neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so you should go next time.
I'm into it. I'm down. Need a coach?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect.
And last time you and Katie qualified, you went to Ochos Rios and Varadero?
Yeah, so that Ochos Rios stop was that was Jamaica, and then Varadero was in Cuba. So super interesting to go to the Cuba stop. I don't think I would for sure ever go to Cuba for any reason, just because it's so hard to get there. And that was right during all of the kind of political drama with Cuba and Donald Trump making some comments about us maybe not being able to go. So that was just an interesting time for sure. And yeah, it was great. Get to see those Cuban teams trained. Again, just awesome people. I feel like the Caribbean's just amazing people.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you were kind of like an angry cat because you were ready to just sort of shut it down for the season. Does it? Yeah. Did you get kind of a second wind once you qualified, or even before the qualifier, or were you going through the qualifier do we have to do this?
No, I think I 100% always love volleyball as soon as my feet touch the sand. I think you just kind of get that morning inertia where you're gosh, do I have to go down there again? And then you go, and it's the best decision you ever make. But I think like when you're like on a flight back from a tournament, you're just toast. I'm like, oh, I just ran and blocked all weekend. Katie's like, let's do it. I'm like, okay, fine. But no,
yeah, she's the best. She's got some serious energy.
Oh God, I just like glom onto her and like just carry me with you wherever you go.
It's funny. It's funny that you guys, because we had her on the podcast last week. It's funny that you didn't play together when you were actually at Hawaii, and then then out of college you actually do play together, and obviously you play quite well.
Yeah, it's super funny. Like, I think they kind of tried to put us together when we were at UH, and we just like didn't play well together. I think I was also like pretty hesitant to take on a full-time blocking role when I was at UH. I got to split with Brittany Teagues, and we had a blast too. Like, I love playing with Britt also. But yeah, I feel like the Katie and my partnership was total like kind of happenstance and like getting a nice high off some beginner's luck. Like a good finish just in our first tournament. So we played Chicago 2 years ago together for the first time. And like just had like this dream tournament, did way better than we've ever done, and just had a freaking blast. It's like, all right, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we've just been playing together, and like the like honeymoon phase hasn't worn off 2 years later, so it's pretty rad.
Yeah, you guys had an awesome start, and then I know that the next year in Huntington, you had like the worst draw in history, having to play Brandy Wilkerson in the qualifier. That's tough.
Oh yeah, it was a crazy match too. Yeah, Brandy and Brandigan together, they were really good, and it was just like it was cool to get to play such a high level match, but you kind of hate doing that on a Thursday. It's like cool either way. Like a really good team is out of the running. And I'm sure you've run into a bunch of those. All of us have like. Thursdays are just total luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Haven't had the experience of running into the best blocker in the world in a qualifier yet. I'm hoping I don't get that one for a while.
He's not that fun to side out against. But then like you guys I don't know if you played him, but like watching the men's quali when they are letting the foreign players play. Like Ricardo's in the qualifier.
Yeah, his resume is decent.
Oh my God.
But for you,
go
ahead, try.
I was just going to say I'm very lucky that I avoided the qualifier this second time around. Luckily, I talked Trevor into picking me up.
That wasn't a hard sell. You guys play
it was harder than I thought it would be, actually.
Oh, Trevor?
Yeah, I know. Really. No, I was definitely lucky, though.
Yeah, and are you guys split blocking still, or what's?
Yeah, we're split blocking. We're figuring it out as we go.
I feel like that's the most fun way to play. Like, just like, all right, we're just gonna flow. Like,
yeah, and we've never. I mean, nobody really does it on the men's side. I feel like some of the collegiate girls have had practice with it, but not many teams do it at all. Like, no men's teams do it, and I've always wanted to. So I figured, why not come out and have some fun with good old Trevlar.
That's awesome.
How are the reps going in Hawaii down there, Troy?
What's that?
How are the reps going in Hawaii?
So today we're going to get our first practice in. Trevor just flew in yesterday. There's a bunch of teams that are flying in today, I believe. International teams. They'll be nice and jet lagged for us.
Nice.
So we'll go get our confidence up while they're on a 12-hour time change. But it's hot. It's hot out here, so Karissa, get ready for that. It's going to be nice and humid after this 2-day storm hits through the middle of the week. But it's Hawaii. It's pretty beautiful, and you know how it goes out here. You've played here more than I have over the last 5 years or so, 6 years. I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I feel like when you're out of the Hawaii sand and humidity, even for 2 weeks, it's just it's like wearing a weighted backpack when you go back.
Yeah, totally.
We'll see.
No, yeah. I'll let you know later today after my first practice.
Yeah, let me know how the Mikasa ball's moving out there, because we done a whole for that thing, and it's just such a different mindset inside out and serve. It feels like. Totally,
and we're playing in a completely different tournament, or completely different rules and everything.
Oh my gosh. I was like looking at the format, and is it true that there's going to be at least 3 teams that you go out there and you just play 20 minutes of volleyball?
Yep.
Like if you're knocked out, I was like, we might actually just be on vacation if we don't do well in that first pool.
You're like going to go do a 20-minute serve and pass, and
right? Yeah.
You got a good stipend and 5 nights at a nice hotel, and could be worse.
It's not the worst like drill I've ever done for sure.
Yeah.
I would love to play a little more than 20 minutes if we get out there.
Yeah, exactly. Karissa, how is your experience playing out here in Hawaii? Because I mean, we're kind of in a similar situation. I mean, I definitely got the wild card here because I'm from here. You guys definitely will be able to draw a crowd because you guys played for University of Hawaii, which is basically like the pride and joy of Hawaii. How was the crowds and the fans for you guys when you played here?
Oh, they're unbelievable. I mean, I think I had a taste for like what the support for UH's programs are when I was playing at Stanford. I played indoor there for 4 years. And we would come out to Hawaii for preseason. I think we came out 2, maybe 3 times. And had some battles in Stan Sheriff. But like we get to the end of the match, and like whether we won or lost, there'd be like the aunties like just giving you like treats and like lays and like like I don't understand why you're doing this for me. Like I'm a visiting team. And just kind of the like general support, like being around on the island, like people, like it's just like a true love for all things UH, and like it's cool that it's almost like you're a pro team when you're playing there, because that really is the kind of premier sporting, like I'm like the football and the volleyball.
Right.
And it's such a like intelligent volleyball community. Like everyone there plays, everyone like knows the game. So I think it's so hard to beat a Hawaii crowd. We're beyond excited to go back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I always thought, or I always like wanted to play for Hawaii. I was always like, damn, I wish I went to UH. I mean, when you grow up here, you're like ready to get off the island and go explore something else. And obviously going to SC is not a bad thing ever. Totally. But I was always jealous that I never got to come back and play for the local crowd, because I grew up in the crowd, and then we come back and then they're like cheering for UH while I'm playing for SC, and it just felt really weird. But it's going to be pretty cool to actually have them cheering for me and all the other Hawaii representatives, including you guys, this week, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're very much, or at least I only had 1 year in a UH jersey, so I definitely feel very much like a kind of bystander Hawaii. I don't feel like I'm fully able to rep it, but like it's so cool to see how many people are getting to go back to like their hometown. Like there's so many teams with some kind of connection in this tournament that it's
right. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and hopefully it's a tournament we have for years to come. That's the goal this week. I'm telling everyone I see. I'm like walking through the mall, like, hey, haven't seen you in a while. Like, come out this weekend. Fully promoting it at all times.
Definitely. It's going to be awesome.
Can we get, like, a rundown of what the format actually is? Because I have, like, no idea. I feel like it's changed a bunch of times. So you said the first day is just exclusively a king of the court?
Yes.
And then... So I guess I'm assuming most of our listeners don't really know how that works. So can you give us a rundown of the format for King of the Court?
Okay. And this might not be perfect, but I'll let you know what I think. Friday is the King of the Court. This is like a separate tour from the AVP that the AVP is kind of partnered up with, as well as FIVB. So it's an FIVB sanctioned event. These guys from the King of the Court are just putting on 4 stops around the world. They already had 2 in Europe. Now it's Waikiki and then Huntington. So it's 3 pools of 5 teams, and each pool plays 20-minute rounds. At the end of each round, whoever has the least amount of points is eliminated. So one team is eliminated. Or actually, I think the first round, maybe 2 teams are eliminated. So then it comes down to 2 pools. Somehow it gets down to 2 pools, and then they play again, and then the bottom teams get eliminated, and it goes down to 1 pool, and then the last pool plays for like a 15-minute round or something, and that's how you get the first through whatever. That's how you get your finishes. But King of the Court, for the people that don't know, is where you have like 5 teams on the court or 4 teams, however many teams on the court, and the teams are filtering it in through one back line, and there's a king side on the other side where you're just siding out. You can only score on the king side. If you lose on the king side, you go to the back of the line on the other side, and you try to serve your way and score a real point to get back to the king side where you can score. So it's first to 21, I believe, or whoever can have the most points once the 20-minute clock is up. It's entertaining. I watched some matches online, and it's fast-paced volleyball. Everyone's really energized because you get a lot of breaks. And yeah, just a lot of guys just teeing off, and it should be fun. And this will be the first event for women, I believe, for King of the Court series.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll have to update to Queen of the Beach or Queen of the Court too.
I don't know if that was the best breakdown, but you know,
that's more information than I had heard on it, because I've just seen like the videos and stuff. It looks super fun. It looks like everybody's just having a blast doing it. Like Alex Brower is playing with Stoyanovsky from Russia, right?
Because Robert got hurt.
Yeah, and then Jake and Taylor were balling out. They were like, I saw their Instagram videos. They were coming out in like smoke and stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah, I know. I'm wondering if they're going to do that out here in Hawaii, because it's not going to be night matches, I don't think. And I mean, that's definitely a spectacle that the Hawaiian fans haven't seen in volleyball.
Yeah,
especially beach volleyball. Yeah.
So
I'm excited.
Karissa and Katie, y'all are playing just the King of the Court, right?
We're going to pause the show there to take a quick second to give a shout out and a massive thank you to all of our sponsors. We love you guys for sponsoring the show. And for our listeners, it's kind of crazy that the AVP season is coming to an end, sort of. And the fact that it's coming to an end means one thing, that you probably need to re-up on your volleyballs, because if you play as much as I do or as much as a lot of these players do, your volleyballs are probably beat to hell. So go to Wilson Volleyball and get 20% off of all of your purchases using our discount code WilsonSand. Again, that's 20% off using our discount code WilsonSand. This show is also brought to you, as always, by our guys at volleyballmag.com. They are your daily digital news source for all things volleyball. They got indoor covered. They got beach covered, whether it's from Stad to Hermosa Beach. Ed Chan has the best pictures in the game. Lee Feinswag has the most insightful interviews. Every now and then I contribute something that might be worthless, might be worthwhile reading. I'm not sure, but if you're looking for volleyball news, make sure to go to volleyballmag.com, your daily digital news source for all things volleyball. We would also like to welcome Volley Camp Hermosa as a new sponsor of the show. If you're listening, you've probably heard of Volley Camp Hermosa. It is the place to go to get better at beach volleyball. Whether you are planning a trip to Hermosa Beach, California, the mecca of beach volleyball, or live locally, they have professional coaches to take your game to the next level. For those making the beach volleyball pilgrimage, they offer week-long adult training camps that are the complete beach volleyball experience. If you live locally or you can't join a camp, you can take their weekly classes and or private training. All levels are welcome, from A to AAA to open. Sign up online at www.volleycamphermosa.com. I'll say that one more time, www.volleycamphermosa.com. Or for more information, you can just give them a call. It is 234-PLAY-VCH. Or you can email them, info@volleycamphermosa.com. We will see you guys on the sand. And, of course, we always love our sponsors at PacificCoastWealthManagement.com, because if your financial plan goes beyond making it into the main draw of an AVP volleyball tournament, check out our online planning tool at PacificCoastWealthManagement.com. We all know that you beach volleyball players need to put that oodles of prize money somewhere. You might as well start it with Pacific Coast Wealth Management. So when you get to the site, click on their link, build your financial plan here, and work with a licensed fiduciary advisor who can discuss everything from 401ks, IRAs, life insurance, estate plans, tax strategy, Social Security, investments, or good old stock tips, also known as a lot of stuff that beach volleyball players genuinely don't know a whole lot about, which is why we need the help with our guys at Pacific Coast Wealth Management. Business owners who need to offer benefits, retirement, or pension plans for their employees, partners, or themselves, you can give them a call too. Or 529 college savings or Roth IRA for your kids. Did you know that you can give $15,000 a year to your kid? I know when I was a kid, I wouldn't have minded that. Start with your favorite volleyball player by connecting with us at Pacific Coast Wealth Management on Instagram or www.pacificcoastwealthmanagement.com, or you can give them a call, 949-637-7052. Again, that is 949-637-7052. A lot of the listeners of the show are professional athletes, and as we all know, you cannot have enough recovery, which is why the show is also brought to you by our good friends at fireflyrecovery.com. So what Firefly Recovery is, it is a wearable device that simulates blood flow throughout the damaged or sore or afflicted area, say a knee. And what you do, you just strap it on, and it helps you recover much faster. So when you are on that 12-hour flight to Stad or a 36-hour trip to South Africa, you can put this on, and you're not going to get that super sore, kind of swollen feeling that you get after you fly on planes. Actually, you can make your trip productive by putting on Firefly Recovery, helping heal up that area, getting off, and you're going to be playing the best volleyball of your life. So give them a visit at fireflyrecovery.com. Let us know what you think, and use the discount code SANDCAST in all caps for a 10% off. All right, that is SANDCAST, all caps, for 10% off at fireflyrecovery.com. And now, back to the show.
Correct. Yeah, that was the only part of it. I think the regular term's a little smaller, so we just got to one day play your heart out. Hopefully make it past 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this would be kind of fun for you guys, though. Like, even if you get only 20 minutes, it's still like you're getting to see this international competition that you guys haven't had a chance to see just yet.
Yeah, not together. I played a couple of the teams. Like, Lauren picked me up for a tournament, so I went to the Hague 4-star, and it's just like there's some teams on another level. And it was cool to see that some of the teams that we played are actually going to come out and be in Hawaii. So it's like, all right, like maybe I can't beat you in a full match yet, but we might be able to just kind of hood rat our way to a couple more points than you at Queen of the Court.
Yeah,
I love that. We can just hood rat our way.
I feel like those fast-paced drills, like Queen of the Court, all those, like, half the time it's a matter of a little bit of luck, and we were just complaining about down the beach. I trained with Keaton, and I played with Sarah Swansel and Therese Cannon, who are also going out to Hawaii. And Sarah was like, oh, I hate it. It just feels like luck. I'm like, honestly, if we're playing, like, the Dudas of the world, like, I'm okay with it coming down to luck.
Yeah.
So it should be pretty fun.
Yeah, and then you're in, like, the actual tournament, right?
Yeah, so Saturday, Sunday is the AVP, and that's just 8 teams. So 4 AVP teams and 4 international teams, and that, I believe, is just a double elim 2-day, and it's pretty straightforward. It's for the men, at least, it's Dahlhauser, Lucena, Gib Crab, me and Trevor, and Reed Pretty and Jeremy Casebeer. But Casebeer and Pretty didn't get the wild card to the King of the Court event. The McKibbins got that one, so it's interesting. And then you also have Rosenthal, Buttinger, and one other team out here, Casey and Stafford. So it's pretty interesting how they're doing it.
Yeah, I feel like the next couple months with beach volleyball are just wild because we have the Hawaii event that we've never really done before on U.S. soil, and then a couple weeks later we have P1440's first event in San Jose, which would be interesting with who's been dispensed for that, which I think at this point, like, everyone who's asked has been okayed. And then we have another one. Is it another King of the Court in Huntington too?
Yeah, it's the weekend after Hawaii.
Oh, it's that soon.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave right after, but oh well, I guess we got to go.
So, are you and Trevor are in that one too, Tri?
Yeah, we got into that one too.
Okay. Karissa, are you and Katie doubling up for Huntington too?
We are not. Yeah, just the Hawaii stuff for us.
Okay. Just Hawaii and then off to Jamaica?
Yeah, I think we're going to Dominican Republic first. That one actually overlaps with that P1440, so we didn't have to make the decision there of like trying to get dispensed or not. So yeah, I guess we'll see once Vegas comes around what everyone's doing and where the wind blows. But I'm excited to see how Carrie's event goes. I mean, it seems like they're putting a lot into it.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. It was fun. It was cool to see them do a satellite qualifier because P1440 is like partnered with the CBVA.
Yeah.
And they did a satellite qualifier on Saturday. So then the teams that made it through that like aren't going to have to play in a qualifier the day before main draw. So everyone who made it was stoked. They're like, "Oh, I qualified. Now I don't have to stress out the day before San Jose."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's the next few months are going to be pretty fun to watch and just see what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
are you going to go and play that one?
So I'm not going to play San Jose, but I am going to try to play in Vegas. I think Trevor and I are going to try to go over to China and play in one of those China events and get my FIVB clock started.
Nice.
And then we'll come back for Las Vegas.
Okay. Travis, how about you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to play San Jose with Paul Ariza, actually, which would be pretty fun.
Right
on.
Nice.
Me and Hagen, we find the most creative ways to lose. So I'm pretty sure my swing for match point in the satellite qualifier is still in the air somewhere. It's probably made its way to Santa Harbor by this point. So
it just landed in Hawaii.
Just wanted to send one over there.
Thank you. I think I'm with like what you guys are talking about with all these events going on. You know, a lot of people kind of see it as troubling that our sport's a little bit divided right now. You know, between the P1440 and USA Volleyball and AVP and King of the Court, but man, it's pretty exciting that we have so much interest from people that want to promote the sport and put on events. And if it all, I mean, it's good timing right now. And if they all can kind of click and somehow find space within the volleyball realm for everyone to really work. I mean, shoot, it could be really good for the sport. Plus, you know, NCAA volleyball has been huge as a feeder to the professional level. And I think it's pretty exciting. And I think there'll be lots of opportunity.
Yeah, with the NC2A thing, just the growth. Like, I was at Stanford the last 3 years, and the growth of the women's side of the game, just in that span, especially since the year that I played at Hawaii, like, it is just night and day. The college teams that are coming out are going to, I keep telling Katie, it's like, we got to win while we can, because they're going to blow us out of the water in a couple of years. Like, it's
I love the
so good for the women's game. But yeah, it couldn't be happening at a better time. I totally agree.
And then
I feel the same way about the men's side. You know, like when I see the women's side like getting so much better so quickly, I feel like that's going to transfer over to the men's as well, and it makes me want to be like, wow, yeah, there's going to be some great young talent. I better step my game up, get to the top ASAP, and try to hold that position down because I think there's some serious talent coming up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going through just the list of qualifiers this year, so every single qualifier was bigger than the year that preceded it, which had been bigger than the year that preceded. Like Austin would have been almost double what it was last year, but they had to cap the qualifier. So because there was like 32 teams in the pre-qualifier for the men's, so there would have been almost 100 in Austin of all places. Like not even a California event. So it's pretty wild just how fast the game is growing.
Oh man! And Austin was hotter than hell on the qualifier day this year.
It wasn't cold. I didn't need a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
But you got to avoid the qualifier. So this was your first year going straight main draw every event, which I'm sure was pretty sweet for you and Katie.
Yeah, I think New York was the only one that we were doing the like a beautiful mind points calculation, and I think we barely got in points. But yeah, so we didn't play on any Thursdays. But I think we booked all our flights assuming we would, because it's, you know, as soon as you don't book for the Thursday, like you're in the qualifier. So we didn't look the gift horse in the mouth on any of those. But I think it's hard. It's hard to replace that Thursday mindset. Like it's I mean, it's like a country quota. It's like lose or go, or win or go home, and you hate it, but you kind of love it. Like, Thursdays are kind of gnarly, but they're cool.
I think that just the intensity of them, that it produces, like, as low as it can go on the emotional spectrum, and also the opposite. Like, when you make it through, there's no real comparison. Like, making through a qualifier is way bigger than, for me at least, than it was making it to a Saturday. Just because it just has that like one and done feel to it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Now with you though, you made a Sunday for the first time. So how was that feeling compared to? Oh, I mean, you've been playing volleyball for a long time. I mean, what was it like to make a Sunday in comparison to any of your other big accomplishments?
You know, I don't actually think it was that different. I think it was cool. I think more so like getting there for Katie and I, because we had to play a lot of really good teams on a Saturday. And we had like 3 really big wins that Saturday that we were super just proud of. And so like getting to the end of that day and being like, oh cool, we like still get to play tomorrow. That was unbelievable just because of like how much effort went into it.
Right.
But I don't know. Like at the end of the day, I don't think we really care that much about what place we get. It's just like, did we go super hard? Did we get better? Did we play teams like the best we could play then? And I thought up until that last match on that Sunday where we got a little bit smoked, we did. So that was so cool. It's really fun.
Yeah, I bet. And Katie kind of walked us through her process from, because you're Austin, like the season didn't get off to the best start with Austin because you lost that first match to Jason Brittany Teagues. And Katie walked us through sort of how she kind of mentally got over that. But because, I mean, you guys didn't even lose another set until the finals or semifinals. So how did you kind of go about recovering from that loss and just bouncing back so quickly and so effectively?
I don't know. I think for me it was less about like bouncing back. I think Jason and Britt are really good, and I think they're a terrible matchup for us because they're both exceptional pole diggers. So I mean, I would have been super stoked had we won that, but a little background on Katie and I, we also always take the absolute longest road possible in every tournament. I don't know how. So, like, losing first round was like, a fucking course. Like, of course we did. Always.
Why make it easy? It's no fun.
Yeah. But, you know, you reframe it and you get to play more volleyball. So, we just got the maximum practice that we could get. And, found a little peace and quiet, bugged some people in the mid tent, and just tried to bring it for the next match.
Yeah, and y'all brought it, and then still, even after a third, like you said, you had to do some beautiful mind calculations to see if you were back in the qualifier. How nuts is that? Yeah, so I also might be like a little bit neurotic. I think I'm like fairly laid back, but when it comes to numbers and spreadsheets, I go pretty deep. So I might have built a like whole model to figure out if we were in qualifier. Katie and I would like have to fight ourselves to like not look at the spreadsheet before bed, or we'd be up all night like, oh shoot, like do we need to, get there a day early? But yeah, it's just the game. Like it's cool that you're only as good as your last 4 finishes that count. So you can't chill once you've won a couple matches.
I wish I could say that that's true for me, but it's funny because my 2 finishes I was using the last 2 events were from 2016 Chicago and Manhattan. I was like thinking back like to like certain points in those tournaments. I was like, damn, those would have helped me a lot right now. And FIVB goes back even further, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do like that mindset where it's just like, I mean, yeah, you're only as good as your last 4 finishes, and it is cool because you can really like. You can turn your season around pretty quickly with 1 or 2 good. You finish the year really well, and you turn your season around, and you're going to have a good position to start the next year. That's why I think it's really important to finish. The teams that like don't get completely worn down and can really find the energy at the end of season, those are the teams that tend to do really well consistently because they end up having higher seeds going into the next season.
Right.
And with you,
consistency. always the key. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so you did your 4 years at Stanford, and that was indoor. Now, so there was no beach volleyball on the beach, or no collegiate beach volleyball when you came out of high school, right?
Yeah. When I came out of high school, it was indoor or nothing. I think on my recruiting trips, a lot of people, because I played beach in high school, growing up in Santa Cruz, and I think beach was always my actual love, but indoor was kind of where the opportunities were.
Right.
I wasn't quite ready to go straight to the UVP out of high school, so I played
didn't do the summer Ross track.
Yeah, right. It's kind of a rare path. I think a lot of the schools kind of hyped that, like, oh, in the off season we play beach for fun. But that was about the extent of it.
So do you think if beach was an option when you were coming out of high school, like if Stanford said, hey, do you want to play beach or indoor, would you probably have gone beach?
I probably would have tried to finagle both, but
right.
I think I would have been all about the beach. It's just such a, I don't want to say it's a better game. It's a better game for my style personally. I miss the strategy and the fast pace intensity of indoors, but you just can't beat the creativity and the expanse of what you get to do and kind of the do or die mindset of beach. There's no hiding in beach volleyball. I think I would.
Would you
for sure?
Would you categorize yourself as more of a cerebral player where you're constantly trying to figure out ways to exploit your opponent, or a little more? I mean, my guess would be yes, that's how you think, but. Or are you more kind of instinctual, where you just kind of letting your experience and your instincts take over out on the court?
I think beach is cool because you have to be a little bit of both.
Right.
I think once you start thinking too much, you're done. But I think thinking is useful until it gets in your way. So I try to engage and look for patterns, or look for inconsistencies in maybe the way someone else is playing, or inconsistencies in the way that I'm playing, and try and shore that out. But I think when it comes to game time, it's you just have to go.
Yeah.
And like you said, kind of trust that intuition that all the plays you've played so far, built up this database that you can just be all right, just gonna let it run. I'm gonna follow it. I'm gonna flow. It's gonna work.
Totally. I feel like I've been really good at the whole instinctual part of it, and not thinking and clearing my mind and not getting in my own way part of it.
Yeah.
But now coming back, I'm I want to get good at that other part of it too, where I'm understanding what I'm doing and being able to exploit teams even better from the cerebral part of it. And that part, I honestly don't. I feel like a rookie coming out here. The way I'm trying to there's so much to learn. It's crazy. And that's what I think is great about beach. It's there's infinite possibilities and ways that you can be creative to be successful. So you see so many different styles of play out there. I love the beach game for that.
Totally. But I think just like you said, though, there's so much value in just clearing your mind and letting it go. We've all been there and achieved that kind of flow state. And
right.
I think that is wherein lies the stoke of beach volleyball, and what keeps you coming back is that feeling. I don't know. I think maybe you've unintentionally or very intentionally mastered a skill that is at the core of why we like this game. So,
yeah, totally. Thanks. That's totally. Bad. Now I just got to figure out the other part of it a little bit, because sometimes I'm I don't even know what the score is, and I took a chance on a serve, but it was match point. I'm I probably shouldn't have done that. I just didn't realize it was that the score was here. In terms of strategically calling timeouts, and granted, I had the oldest veteran in the world playing on my team for my first 4 years, so he literally did all that stuff, and I just executed everything. So, but yeah, now I get to try and put both together. It's pretty fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, we had this silly match last year. I don't know if it was in the qualifier. It might have been on a Friday in Hermosa, but we're in this gnarly set 3 with Allie and Laura, and they're both great defensive players who can hit, and Katie was digging everything. So this match had just been an hour and a half. And it was pre-free scoring, I think. And I I was just like so toast from like running in Hermosa sand for an hour and a half. I'm shot. And I like did this stupid, ridiculous like bump over kill in the like end of the match. I didn't think it was match point. I'm like, all right, Kate, gotta go run back and serve. Like, stay focused. And she's like grabbing me, like, we won. Like, shut up. I was like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. That was match point. And I freaking bumped the ball over. Kill me.
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked. Scary. It's scary that works, but
totally. See, so there is a benefit to not knowing the score sometimes because you might not take the same chances.
For sure.
I've been watching that kind of stuff too. Players like you guys and Brooke Sweat does a lot. There's a lot more on the girls' side, I think, where you guys are very aware of the other side of the court and where the space is and where the other team is kind of in transition. And you're able to kind of go over on two and exploit the teams in that way. And I think I've kind of been watching for that a little bit more since I've came back on the beach. Like, I just want to go on two or do like, I got a bump kill in Chicago, a back bump kill on two. That was fun. But no, I like that style of play where you're just kind of a little more aware of what's going on the other side of the net. Just, you can kind of tweak things in your favor when you're aware of that, this kind of spatial awareness.
That's impressive you got a bump kill on a guy's net because it's a little longer for the ball to get to the ground.
Yeah, that's true. It was like...
and it's hard.
Yeah, they Trevor passed it like far to the right, so the blocker came all the way with me, and I was just able to kind of do a nice tight cutty. Yeah.
That's funny.
Bump kills require a little bit too much ball control for my taste. I'm usually better.
It's pretty embarrassing when they pick it up, though.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, at that point.
I think one of the best elements, too, of like doing a bump kill or just a weird over on two or on one is how mad it makes the other team when it goes down. Because, I mean, it's embarrassing when they pick it up. It's way more embarrassing when it scores on you. And you're like, God, she just bumped it over and got a kill for that.
I feel like it has this dual advantage, too, of, like, relieving any tension on your side. Because you're like, it's just, we always look at each other, Katie and I, and we do it, and we're like, we're so dumb. Like, this is hilarious. And it kind of gets us out of our heads. It's like, all right, we're good. All very silly here.
Especially when you pass it and instead of choosing to set you and trust you to set out, your partner wants to go do a bump kill. That's kind of hilarious in itself.
It's okay. Green light anytime. I don't need to hit.
Now, when we had Andrew Fuller, your former colleague at Stanford, we had him on. He described it as old fart volleyball. And you mentioned it as hood rat volleyball. I like both of them. How would you describe your style of play?
I would say that a lot of it is I played a lot of volleyball growing up with players who were much more experienced than I was, and I think I got just jumboed on since the time I was like 12. Jumboed and bump kills went down against me a lot, so now it's like, all right, I've got to integrate that somehow. And then coaching at Stanford the last 3 years with Andrew and Lauren, which has been just the biggest treat ever. Working with the student athletes there. I ended up jumping in and playing a lot when I had just sat from 9 to 5 in an office. So there's a lot of like not warm volleyball with very athletic young people, and so like whipping on a lot of crafty, ugly things kind of occurred.
Not warm, crafty, ugly, hood rat, old fart volleyball.
Yeah, it's not pretty, but.
I like it, though, because, I mean, obviously you guys are doing well with that style of play, and the thing that comes to mind for me is they always say that, like, the best players make it look easy, right? So, like, Misty May, they would say, would just walk into digs all the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, shoot, if it looks like you're playing old fart volleyball, then you must be doing something right in terms of making reads. And, I mean, granted, Katie's laying out everywhere, and that's a different style, but I think it definitely has to do with the way that you're seeing the game and your efficiency.
Well, I heard you say like our names and Misty's names in about the same paragraph, so I'm quit volleyball right now. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, the resume maybe not the resume yet, but in terms of walking into digs, that's something most of the greats do.
it's pretty fun.
And when you were coaching at Stanford, so I know that, in my opinion, I think one of the best ways to learn or relearn a skill is to teach it, or in this case, coaching it. How much did you learn just from coaching and being around Lauren and Andrew and having to reteach these skills yourself to the players who are probably going to be coming up on the AVP tour any summer now? We already saw a couple Stanford girls, Catherine Plummer, come out and make a main draw this year.
Yeah, they actually should have beat us in Hermosa this year. They had Catherine and Haley Harvard had 4 match points, I think, against us, and we were able to fight them off in the freeze barely. But yeah, they're going to be just unbelievable. And I think, when you're getting to coach athletes of that caliber who are doing things that just like make you scratch your head and it's like, I didn't know that was possible. And when you're coaching alongside people who have played volleyball and coached volleyball at the highest level, like Andrew and Lauren have, I think some of the things that just like the proximity learning that went on when I'm, trying to like peek in on Lauren teaching someone how to block. It's like, I wish I could just like stay there forever and be a young Padawan learner. But yeah, I think it's a full mindset shift. And I think you really have to articulate what you believe about volleyball, and in a different way to sell somebody else and getting them to do it. So coaching's really cool for that.
Yeah, and now you are kind of moving on to, how tough was it to move on from Stanford and take this next step that you're about to take here in Manhattan Beach?
I think I could have stayed there forever and ever and been super happy. I think for me, I was starting to realize like my window for getting to play volleyball at the kind of level and speed that I am creeping up on being able to play at today. I think that window is obviously closing. Not in the next year, but for sure in the next 5 to 10. And so I do know that coaching is always going to be there, and I adored it. I loved it. So grateful for that experience. And I think I do see myself going back for sure. But I think there's just like an itch that needed to be scratched with playing and really getting to go for it for a couple of years at least.
Yeah, it'll be a fun move for sure. And one of the funner aspects of this season was your brother's wonderful entertainment on Instagram.
That's how you make use of your time.
Yeah. Spent half the year apologizing for that content. Never a dull moment with Brian's Instagram this year. It was pretty great.
Yeah, what was it like growing up in the Cook household? Because just you guys are. Brian's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life, and your demeanor too. You're as cool as they come. So what was it like growing up?
I think it was mostly just us, like, going to the beach all day and peppering in our backyard and screaming about whose turn it was to get the ball over the fence because our ball control sucked. It was great. I think volleyball kept us out of trouble, and we were just lucky to be by the beach, so it was awesome. But having both parents play, like, family, everyone's in the sport, and so that helps too.
I feel like Brian's style of play is the exact opposite of yours.
Yeah, I think we're pretty opposite in like a lot of categories, but like get along great, love being around each other. Like I'm, working with them, and we're gonna go play a game night later.
Nice.
Yeah, he is like an explosive, high flying, fun, loud, player. I feel like I'm like driving a Prius over here, but yeah.
I like it. Well, you mentioned something earlier that you and Brian are starting some kind of startup. That kind of like I was wondering this whole podcast what that was, because two kids that went to Stanford doing a startup. My brain's thinking. Yeah, I'm so interested though.
I'm definitely not one of the founders on that front, but he basically designed an app that 2 other friends of ours came up with for event staffing and bartending. So think like Uber for bartending, and we're working out the kinks, but it's going to be cool, I think. So I just started helping those guys since moving down here. It's been a total blast.
I like it.
Actually, though, our office is in the same office as one of the AVP little satellite offices. I see some volleyball people from time to time.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's fun. Well, this will be a fun little chapter in your life here coming up.
We'll see. I think so. Every chapter's been fun so far. It's all been... Except for I took 1 year off of volleyball, and that year totally sucked. Besides that, everything else has been great. So, like, volleyball needs to be incorporated for me to be, like, healthy and happy and sane.
When did you take that year off?
Right after I got back from Hawaii, for some reason, I, like, forgot how much I loved volleyball. I think it's just, like, 5 years straight of collegiate activities. And I was, like, got a regular 9 to 5, and it was super boring. And I made a lot of money with the school, but then you, like, truly learn that money is not happiness. I'd rather be broke than coaching and playing volleyball.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably a valuable experience to have, that, like, you tried it, and then you realized how much you love volleyball, and now here you are living in Manhattan Beach, starting a startup, and just going for it.
Yeah, I think, like, even, it's very trite, but, like, worst day at the beach, 100 times better than the best day I had during that year, so... Very, very grateful, to say the least.
I bet. So now that you have Hawaii around the corner, when are you heading out again?
Hurricane Olivia is cruising through, so we have a flight for Wednesday, but TBD on when we will actually appear.
Okay, and then when are you coming back?
Travis, are you going out there?
I am not. I'm staying on the mainland for this one. When are you coming back, though? I feel like it's going to be a while since I see you again.
Yeah, hopefully never. No, I'm coming back Tuesday because we got to get ready for that Huntington event.
Okay. Now, Karissa, before we let you run here, is there anything else that you do want to chat about or make sure that we talk about, or anything you wanted to bring up?
I don't think so. I mean, you guys do such an awesome job with this podcast. I'm super happy to be on here with you both. I think just like what you guys are doing for volleyball and keeping people in the loop and keeping people stoked is rad. If you have any juicy gossip, my life has been drama-free for a bit, so I could use that. But other than that, no. I think life is good.
That's good. That's good to hear. And it's good to hear that you're a fellow listener, too. We'll have to have you in the Bourne on the Beach studios, too, when Tri gets back from Hawaii.
Definitely. We both
yep. Yeah, exactly.
Now, our final question for all of our guests is, if you could give one piece of advice to any up-and-coming beach volleyball player, what would that piece of advice be?
I'm going to cheat and go with 2.
We'll take 2.
Yeah, perfect. Because I think I was at a tournament recruiting this summer for young women trying to play collegiate sports. And one of the tournament directors said to all of the lovely ladies there, if you don't handset in games, like, don't do it. Practice it at home. Don't try and do this at our tournament. We don't want to deal with it. And it made my blood absolutely curl. And I think in the women's game right now, there's not a ton of hand setting. And I know that I personally, even though I was a setter indoors, I'm still working on integrating that into my own game. But every camp I go to, I'm just like, hey, now's the time. Like, start. Like, they wouldn't be saying that to a young men's tournament. And it riles me up that there's this double standard on hand. So first PSA, young ladies handset, it's rad. That's Katie and my goal for next year is to be integrating that into our game. So that's my soapbox. I'm going to get down now. Other piece of advice is I would just say, like, find good people and play with them, because I think that at the end of the day, this sport is about the people you're with and about making yourself a better person. And if you're just doing it to, like, get more points than other human beings, it's not going to be that fulfilling in the long run. So surround yourself with good people, and you're going to have amazing days at the beach. And yeah, luckily this sport has, like, so many awesome people. It's unbelievable. So
yeah, I love that. I love both those pieces of advice. So we will definitely welcome 2.
I love it. Good stuff.
Well, thanks for calling in. I know that you don't get to go home a whole lot, so appreciate you taking the time on your trip home to Hawaii. And Karissa, safe travels. Hopefully you get here safe. Hopefully you get to play for more than 20 minutes. Rooting for that.
Great. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
see you out here,
Thanks for coming on SANDCAST.
Right.
Good luck, everybody in Hawaii.
Guys, thanks.
All right. See you guys.
Shoots.
Shoot.